The advancement of technology in the educational arena has created an opportunity for personalized learning. While there are several definitions of personalized learning, all seem to recognize the general principles that includes customization, student agency, and flexibility of instruction. Loki, Vega, and Stevens define personalized learning as an educational paradigm shift that values learner differences and harnesses technology to allow the educator and learner to co-plan an individualized educational experience. Personalized learning is not a new approach to education, but with the advancement of technology, it has certainly made the opportunities for delivering personalized learning to students more accessible. To better understand personalized learning, let's take a look at the history of educational models in the U.S. Throughout history, formalized learning had been reserved for the elites. Everyone didn't go to school. Typically, kids were taught at home by their able mothers. The earliest schools in America were created by the Puritan settlers to teach religious values. Consequently, the focus of schools wasn't necessarily to teach students to read, but rather how to behave and act. Around 1840, Horace Mann highly popularized the idea of formal public schooling for all by trained professional teachers. By 1870, the public education system became common with the idea that schools are necessary to inspire civic responsibility and to promote social stability. In essence, schools can help improve the bottom line. This coincided with the industrial era of mass production via factory models, and Horace Mann was inspired by the Prussian, now Germany, model of schools. One teacher teaching a classroom full of students. Teachers were trained professionals and taught curriculum to the masses. Ultimately, the model worked something like a factory.
Imagine an assembly line, and there's kind of a bucket that is leaving along the assembly line, and all of the, kids who were born between August of, they're going to turn 5 by August, are going to be thrown into that bucket, and then that bucket is going to move forward at a set pace, and this was all the kids who were turning 6 by August, and these were all the kids that were 7, and then as they move at this set pace, you kind of have, at any given point in the assembly line, you have kind of information being delivered at every point, and it's fixed how much time the students have, and what's variable is how well they get them. So some of these students are going to get the information, some of it is just going to go past them, and they keep getting pushed forward.
While that was a revolutionary model at the time when it was created, in the early 1900s, Maria Montessori established the Montessori method. She is, in essence, the creator of the idea of personalized learning. Let's take a look at her theory.
Her guiding principles were based on an internal construction plan in each human being and the associated changes over time. She believed in the hidden creative energies inside people and saw children as architects of their own minds. The concept begins with the upbringing of young children and ends during the teenage years. In each period of childhood, there are sensitive stages during which the child picks up on different stimuli in the environment and responds to them. It's the educator's job to support these stages by providing a prepared environment. The environment is centered on the needs of the children, such as Emma's passion for astronomy. So she receives a large amount of materials to learn more about mathematics, for example. The materials organization and aesthetics are key elements for encouraging holistic development according to the Montessori approach. The concept especially aims at helping the child achieve self-reliance and independence, so Emma is given plenty of time to think about the stars. This allows Emma to move at her own pace of learning as she focuses on a specific task.
Unfortunately, the Montessori method was met with some criticism, and the Prussian model prevailed. While the idea of free public education for all was revolutionary in the late 1800s and early 1900s, the school system has operated this way, this factory model, for almost 200 years. However, with the advancement of technology and a shift in movement from our industrial era to the technology revolution, the factory model is now outdated and people are into customization. The 21st century is requiring more if students are to be successful. Beyond learning to read and write, behave and act, companies are looking for students to be critical thinkers, demonstrate creativity, and have an ability to work well in collaborative environments with appropriate communication skills. While a traditional learning environment operates on the need to support deficits, a personalized learning environment capitalizes on those individualities as assets and gives responsibility back to the learner to drive his or her learning on a unique path that serves that learner best. Loki, Vega, and Stevens have identified 9 essential conditions that must be met to move toward a personalized learning classroom. They note that efforts to establish all of the conditions of personalized learning cannot be done all at once, nor by a single educator. Educators and other stakeholders must work together to break down educational traditions and build up new policies, tools, and actions that all align to a common vision of personalized learning. Johns and Woolking have examined schools and districts that have successfully implemented personalized learning and have identified what they coin as the Core 4, which are 4 key elements they believe ensure that personalized learning is implemented with high fidelity and success. By leveraging these key elements, school and district leaders can clearly communicate what a shift to personalized learning will entail.
The goal of the Nashville School District is to have every student become college and career ready. Here is how their competency-based system will help Becky achieve that goal. First, we need to look at a traditional system, where often students are assessed on different criteria, and those scores are averaged together to determine their final grade. As long as they achieve a passing grade, they receive credit and move on. Would you say Becky is on the path to be considered college and career ready? No. Based off this report, Becky does not have a strong understanding of division. Under a competency-based system, Becky would receive a not yet. Using feedback from her teacher, being assigned and completing additional assignments, Becky will continue to learn division until that light goes off. Now, would you say Becky is on the path to becoming college and career ready? Yes. Under a competency-based system, students do not move forward until they demonstrate an understanding of all of the course competencies.
Classroom sets of iPads and other technologies, our students now have individualized instruction that they can work through at a pace that is suitable for each of them. Students who prove to be capable can move ahead in the content, and those that need to rewatch video lessons and require extra assistance get their needs met as well. Students are provided with unit pacing guides that give them detailed instructions of what needs to be completed for each unit. Units have students watching teacher-created video lessons, YouTube songs, Khan Academy exercises that are able to provide immediate feedback to both teachers and students, and online real-world simulations, iPad applications, partner activities, and projects.
Here at Summit, we serve a wide range of students, and so you'll see a varying degree of skill within an academic classroom.
We provide a lot of flexibility for learning environments, whether it's flexibility in terms of the physical space, flexibility in terms of the different choices that students have. You see students seated toward the back of the room. Those students are working independently. The students who are at the tables have chosen to collaborate, which is something they thought through and made part of their goal setting. And then you have the group of students that chose one of the 2 mini lessons, and that takes place in the center of the classroom.
I grouped them together in the middle of the classroom so that they could have a space that was conducive to a discussion.
Is e-waste our choice or our duty? I think it's our choice because nobody really tells us to do it.
I agree with you. I feel like it's our choice right now, but it should be our duty because it's important to make the world a safer place.
Other students are in the process of gathering information for the experimental design project. So they were seen in the outside facing outwards so that I could see their screens and help them work through any distractions they might have.
Providing flexible space gives students the opportunity to learn in different ways. And it also gives the teacher the opportunity to coach them properly in a personalized manner to reach their learning goals.
The conferences here are different. Most schools, the teachers talk to the parents, but in our school here, Wildwood, the students talk to the parents. We actually get to tell our parents what we're doing.
I think the greatest impact that I see is them taking ownership of their growth process.
Pretty much it just changes everything about parent-teacher conferences. They get to see all your work and everything that you're doing and actually get to learn a few things about what you're doing. So the beginning of the universe, creation of stars, creation of the earth, we map that out on the football field as a timeline.
It's the kids' turn to conference.
It's their turn to shine. We provide enough resources for them so that when they lead the conference, they feel confident.
Well, this year we wrote an essay to know what we're going to say to our parents and not just keep pausing. Now I will tell you my strengths and then my weaknesses. My strengths are math. So, for example, this is exponents, and this is long division.
During the quarter, you really have to work on each assignment, so because you're gonna want to tell your parents something about it.
There's a lot of pre-work that's done before conferences happen. The kids have got to practice, and you also have to really let them think about what they want to be in their binder. It's a combination of things that they chose and things that we chose.
So when I was preparing my binder, the whole time I was thinking, I can tell my mom all the new things I learned. Probably my favorite thing is this. We found 3 themes for each document and just connected them. The purpose of the student-led conference is to show her where I was at, where I am at, and where I want to be at. So for quarter 2, I want to get better at literary devices and analytical paragraphs and start to do better on the vocabulary test that we have. So you could help me study for those. I really got to show my mom the work that I was proud of, and I also included some work that I kind of struggled with. And here's a vocabulary test. I was pretty confused on this one. While I'm doing the work and towards the end of the quarter, I'm kind of looking at how I'm doing, because I know that I'll have to talk about it, not just the teacher, but I will.
It gets people used to being able to review their work, a reflection.
Reflection is part of our school culture. As teachers, we're expected to reflect.
I'm going to need to work on these traits. So risk taker would be raising my hand more, or going into activities where I wouldn't feel comfortable, my comfort zone, working in groups, kind of.
That's a good reflection.